Hey, welcome to another episode of Ask a Photo Pro with your friendly neighborhood host. It is me, I am Carty. Today we're going to get into some photo reviews, but not before I talk just a little bit about memberships. I get lots of questions about how to submit photos. How you submit photos is pretty simple. I actually put it right here on my little smart clock. Live streams, Ask a Photo Pro are members only. How you submit your photos is number one, you become a member. If you become a member while I'm live, I turn on my smoke machine and smoke fills up the entire recording space. That's number one. Number two, you get an amazing alert and your name up there on the screen, like Romeo. Next thing that happens when you're a member is you get to have your photos reviewed. Now, I charge $5 a month to have your photos reviewed, as well as be able to talk to me directly, like Junior is, like Jason is, like Vicky, like Andrew, like Stephen C., like Robin, like Nia, like all these people who are here in the live chat actually talking. What it does is it makes it so I'm able to interact with you, talk to you. You could ask me questions. If anyone wants to have a message or a question really noticed, feel free to do a super chat. Super chats, you can drop a super chat for like any amount over $1. I'll see the super chat. You'll get an alert and I will put your question right on screen, just like that, and talk about it. So, memberships, let's go. Also, by the way, as you can see, as Stephen C is doing, my members who are watching my live stream can actually control my live stream. They can take photos of me, they can screenshot me, they can time warp me, they can do all kinds of things. If you also pay attention to my stream elements, you'll see it tells you every once in a while exactly what you can do. Just like, oh my God, you see, you tell these guys and they go absolutely crazy. You see, so I try to make my live streams fun for the people who are watching for the low price of $5 a month. So I'm noticing that, we're at like 60 members. We're trying to get up to 100 members. Appreciate that, Stephen. We're trying to get to 100 members. And my big question is, for those of you who might not be watching live, but you might be watching after the fact, what is stopping you from becoming a member of this channel? Are you afraid to have your photos reviewed? You're about to see that my photo reviews are thorough, extensive, and also I like to know a little bit, like, are you trying to be a photographer? Or are you just trying to take better pictures? If you're trying to be a photographer, I can kind of critique you a little bit different. If you're trying to just take better photos, I can also critique you a little bit different. For me, these critiques are empowering. They're set up in order to help you get better. I'm sure you're the best photographer that everybody who knows. Yes or yes. You don't have people around you who can really help you get better at photography because you're already the best photographer all your friends, all your family have ever seen. I'm here to help you get to that next level. And if you're trying to make money with your camera, that's what I'm trying to help you do as well. So here's some of my questions. Number one, what's stopping you from being a member? Is $5 too much? Is $5 too much? That's the question. Is $5 a month, which ends up working out to be $60 a year, is that too much for you to have your photos reviewed? For me, if you think about it, it's the price of a coffee, so it can't really be too much. Is it because you think that YouTube should be free and all YouTube content should be free? You watch the commercials, so you're willing to watch the commercials in order to like support that way, which is totally cool. Know that I don't add commercials during my live streams. So whether you're watching after the fact or watching live, if you're watching after the fact, you get commercials. But if you're watching live, whether you're a member or not, is what I'm trying to say, you get commercial-free content. I don't like commercials interrupting the flow of what I'm talking about. So I don't insert them into my live streams. So that. Here's another thing. Um, when I make a new video, and today is the first time I've ever tried this. When I make a new video, I'm going to give it to my members first. Today, I uploaded a video, scheduled it for tomorrow at 2 o'clock. My next video drops tomorrow at 2 o'clock if you're not a member. But for those of you who are members, you already saw it because I dropped it today at 4 o'clock. And I'm able to get feedback from my members before I release it to the public. I'm able to tweak my title if I need to. I'm able to tweak my thumbnail if I need to, and talk directly with my members about the content before it gets released out to the public. So in becoming a member, you also become a part of my A/B testing group. So, yeah. So my question for those of you who aren't members and aren't able to chat, I want you to leave a comment. Tell me the reason that you're not becoming a member. What's the reason? I'm just curious because I'm in a perfect world, there's no ads on my channel. The amount of money that I make from advertising is not a lot. You know what I mean? And to make these podcasts like ad free, maybe even like ad free for a week, and then turn on the ads after to give everybody who's really the hardcores the ability to watch this after the fact. Do you guys sign up to YouTube Premium? It's another question. I'm on YouTube Premium, so I don't see commercials with any of the stuff that I watch. But for those of you who aren't on YouTube Premium, is that a factor? You're already paying for YouTube Premium. You don't want to also pay memberships? I'm just curious. I'm just actually curious. So do let me know in the comments if you're watching this. I definitely would appreciate your feedback. Here's another thing. I'm thinking about really getting back into making shorts again. I don't know, many of you might have noticed that I stopped making shorts on my channel maybe 3 months ago. I would say maybe June, July. I just stopped. Like, I realized that short form content is candy. People who are looking at short form content are looking for short dopamine hits, and if it's not me, they're just swiping to the next one. And for the 3 months before I stopped posting shorts, none of them were getting any traffic. It was like no one was seeing any of my shorts. So I started to think, I don't even know if I want to waste any time, and it's attracting the wrong audience. I want to attract the audience that enjoys long form content, enjoys these conversations, enjoys photo reviews and this type of stuff. So, and enjoys watching long form videos, a 10-minute video. Not just a 10-minute video, obviously watching my hour-long podcast, that's also a thing. So, yeah, I'm wondering, I'm thinking about starting to add shorts again, because I haven't been making shorts for a while. And YouTube has added some new features where if you make a short, you can link it to the long-form version. Maybe that'll help me bring some more people to my channel, but I don't know if it will, but we'll see. I'm going to just do an experiment for a month or so and see if some short form content gets some traction. The next thing is making clips of these podcasts. I'm going to start making clips of these podcasts so my longer form 1 hour long episodes are condensed into like 10-minute hits. Would you watch a 10-minute hit of a podcast if you weren't able to watch the entire episode? That's another thing that I'm wondering. I know that there's a lot of the creators that I watch and respect. They have the 90-minute episode that comes out, but they also have 2 or 3 shorter 10-minute videos that have been clipped from the podcast. Interested if you'd watch that. And also, it's going to be one of the ways that I'll be able to make more videos. The next thing is I'm trying to hire an editor. I'm meeting an editor soon. Ray has been helping me with editing, but Ray's going to take over editing the podcast and turning the podcast into shorter videos. We're trying to bring on another editor that's going to take over the majority of the video editing side of it so I can make a video a week. My goal is to make a video a week right now because of work and life and how hard it is to maintain 3 podcasts a week plus making a video plus my photography and video career, like for clients, is tricky. So I'm going to bring on an editor so I can shoot videos, do a meeting, pass over the assets, give the outline of what we're trying to do, and just let an editor take it away and bring me to the finish line. Many of the videos that I work on take 40 hours of editing. So the video that you're about to watch, I was working on it for a month. So I'll say again, I was working on it for a month. So trying to increase the frequency of the videos coming out. So when a video does break, like my best advice video, I have the momentum of another video right behind it a week later, not right behind it 3 weeks later. So, and then my last question is for you guys, what do you want to see? That's the big question. What do you want to see? What are you hoping for? I heard that you guys wanted to see more behind the scenes content, more content with me shooting. So, made a video, me shooting. It's a great behind the scenes video. I hope you guys all have a chance to watch it. If you haven't watched it because you're a member, make sure that you watch it tomorrow when it premieres. I'll be in the premiere, and I think I'm going to do a little post-op hangout in chat after the fact. So, I'm very curious as to what you'd like to see. I make content for you. I make content for you. I make content for you. So I want to know, what do you want to see? What should I make next? What would you like to see more of? What would you like to see more of? And I'm talking about with the podcast, with, do you like my in real life streams? Do you like the IRL streams where I'm outside shooting? Yes, yes. Would you like more content that is just talking head, where I'm explaining a theory, a vibe, something? Most of the time when I make videos, the B-roll, the adding of the B-roll takes so long. And I notice Scott from Tin House, he doesn't add B-roll, like pretty much almost ever. He doesn't add B-roll, but it still is super engaging, and I watch his content every time. So my next question, can I just rant for 10 minutes on a thought, on a theory, on an idea, and make a video without B-roll? Would that hold your attention? These are questions, you know? So I have all kinds of questions as far as my content, and I'm trying to just repeat the stuff that works, don't do the stuff that doesn't, and add new stuff based on the ideas that you guys give me and the things that you guys want to see. You know, it's difficult. It's difficult. And what I've found, and everybody has always said it, the second you make a video that goes viral, the amount of pressure that happens after the fact is unbelievable. I made a video that right now almost has 250,000 views. And the video that I did after it 3 weeks later has 4,500 views. So, you know, and again, it's like I tried to make this video, the most recent one, a little bit more like the one that hit, and it doesn't hurt to have a pretty girl in there to maybe grab some attention. So these are my questions. These are my questions. These are my questions. I have questions for you. If you're watching this and you have thoughts on this content, if you have thoughts on this channel, how you think I could make this better, leave me a comment. And by the way, if you're an editor and you have the skill set to edit at the level that I'm at already, leave me a comment if you're interested in trying to be a part of this channel. All right. So, all those questions. Are my membership fees too much? Oh, here's another one. I'm thinking about, do I start another tier? Do I start like a lower tier that's like $3.50 or 99 cents for people who are like really struggling, but they want to support somehow? Do I do a higher tier that's like a $10 tier? And for the $10 tier, let's go, Nia. Let's go, my big brother. For what about a $10 tier? Do I do a $10 tier? And for the $10 tier, I do specific like Discord hangouts, So like, what would I give a $10 tier? You know? I appreciate you, Advocate. So I know people are asking me about what's it called? Patreon. Like, why don't you do a Patreon? Like, I said I'd do a Patreon when I hit 10,000. And here I am at 10,000 and I'm like, let's see how memberships go. You know, if I get members who are really active, oh my God,
Gifted
Oki.
member.
Oki, you're such a savage. Oki, again. This is now, Oki's up to 30 gifted members. Like 30 gifted.
New member.
Oki, you're amazing. Thank you so much, Oki. Oki just gifted 5 members to my channel. Oh, Oki.
New member.
Thank you. Thank you. You're an absolute savage. I appreciate you. And you see this guy, Oki. He's done it. This is like the 6th time that he's gifted 5 members. So he's amazing. And you can see that's one person who's trying to like help me blow up this membership vibe, you know? Like I did free photo reviews for 2 years. And free photo reviews for 2 years means that thank you, Oki. I appreciate that, man. Free photo reviews means that no one has to pay. I just did them wholeheartedly, you know? And I thought at some point I'll have a monetized YouTube channel at some point, you know? So we're here. And the goal was to like, for the people who are really needing that extra help, I think it's worth the $5. That's all I'm trying to say. $5 is a coffee. You know what I mean? $5 is like, think of like, $5 is like literally 5 singles. It's, my God, it's not a lot of money to get the kind of help that I'm trying to give. But for the people who can't afford it, I still want to be able to help them. So again, I'm interested in your feedback on that. I think that, I don't know. I think I'm trying to do a good thing here. I hope you guys think that I'm trying to do a good thing too. I give a lot of time to this stream, to this community. I spend a lot of time on my Discord. Like I, at times, like the photography career suffers because of how much effort and time I put into what I'm trying to build here on YouTube. So, you know, yeah, it's a small price to pay. Also, what do you think about the members only streams? Like, should it be just subscribers? Anybody can chat on these streams? Do you like the fact that it's members only? Do you feel because you guys are members, do you feel like this is one of the things that you pay for, is this members only stream? I'd love to hear what you think, Andrew, Kadima, Steven, Minutes Dragon. Yeah. It's these are all questions, you know? Questions. So, thank you, Matthew. I appreciate that. Matthew. Thank you for your kind words. Honestly, it's tricky because I feel sometimes that a lot of people just want to take, but they're not really into giving or supporting. I have other people who are so generous, like it's overwhelming, you know? So I just want to help. That's all I want to do. I just want to help. I've created something that's super unique on this channel where I don't think anyone else is really doing this on YouTube in the photography space. Yeah, I just want to help you guys get better. So thank you for everybody who has chosen to become a member, and for being here. Appreciate you. If you're watching after the fact, thank you for being a part of this community, this amazing photography world, and watching my content. Is the fact that you're interested in me and the things that I have to say about photography means a lot. So I appreciate you. All right. So shall we get into your favorite time of the week when we do some
real photo reviews?
All right, let's get into some real photo reviews. I just wanted to catch up a little bit with you guys, you know, just to give you a little bit of what I'm thinking about. All right, we are starting here with the one they call Stephen C. He's got the same name as me. My name is actually Stephen. Stephen with a V, just like you, Stephen C. But I'm Carty. That's why, yeah, I haven't gone by Steve. I don't really, people who know me call me Carty. So, Steven says, here are a couple of flower pics I took. I might have to upload one at a time. I'm using my cell phone on a mobile hotspot. So let's get into Steven's photos. This is his first flower photo. Steven, this is really nice. This is really nice. I'm also interested in the camera data that you shot with, like what camera, what lens, what exposure. That stuff helps the viewers a lot. I really like the sharpness. The sharpness, the detail that you have here is really nice. The stem is super sharp. The flower is super sharp. This is super sharp. My one thing is I think that you're a little bit high with your top area of the photo, meaning right up here. What I would do is, sorry, I got to change this color. There it is. What I would do is just push this down just a little bit so this pointy area isn't coming so high in the frame. You'll see when we look at this as a cover that this is very much what we call, like, it's just a little high. It's a little top heavy. And when you look at the masthead, looking at this as a cover, it's just a little claustrophobic. So it's a great effort. It's a great shot. The color's great. The depth of field is great. Let's go, Marabella. Welcome. Glad you're here from Spain. This is a great first shot, Steven. I'm ranking you. Let's go. Congratulations on your first submission. Steven's first submission, my guy. Congratulations. Let's see some more from our man, Stephen C. It's a very pretty moth. This is not a butterfly, but it is very, very pretty moth. Good focus. Good focus. Again, you see the tongue of this moth sticking out, which is really great. You know, the center focus, I feel like this moth would really be served better, not dropped right dead center, but maybe dropped down here, maybe dropped down here, maybe dropped up here. Because this is part of your focus, this flower here, I think dropping this down to this corner would then bring this flower possibly just offset here, maybe even on this page as well. I think that's the only issue that I have, is that it's sort of like dead center. I would love you to try to offset just a little bit that way or a little bit that way. I know you don't want to get rid of that flower. Let me just show you an example. If I can't zoom in that far, but if I zoom in just like this and then I drag this just over here, this is kind of closer to the composition that we're talking about. 135 fully manual. Let's go. This is kind of more the composition that I'm talking about, Stephen. I hope you see what I mean. This is your whole photo, but I think it would be better served offset just somewhere in and around. Oops, that's way too much of an enlargement. Yeah, just like that. All right, Willie, glad you're here, buddy. So that's a second photo from Steven. Let's look at another. I like the offset here. You nailed the composition on this one. Steven has nailed it. Let's go. This is really great. Really great. Let's look at this as a double page spread. As a double, here you go. There's your gutter. So you can see you have really good composition here. You should be very pleased. The fact that you have this offset. Also, you managed to get this critter looking into the center of the frame, which is amazing. The depth of field on the flower and this hard focus here, super shallow. By the way, he's shooting with a 135 millimeter. He told me in chat. 135 is one of my favorite lenses. I also have a 100 millimeter macro. Again, so far, Steven, this is your 11. I'm not going to rank your best photo as yet because I haven't seen them all, but this is up there. Very, very good, good, good. Okay. I like this a lot. Strong focus, strong color. Still needs to be offset. I think after this just little bit of a lecture to you, you're going to start seeing your frames and offsetting. Just like this needs to be pushed over like here. I'm sure you get what I mean. It needs to be pushed over to like, just so it's not dead on the gutter. If you have the inclination of shooting dead center with your frame, consider shooting vertical. Consider shooting vertical. All right, let's look at another from Steven. This is gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. You've already pre-cut this to a 9x12 or an 8x10. It's a fantastic picture. Fantastic, fantastic. You should be thrilled with this photo. You get the smoke. You get the smoke. Let's look at this as a cover of my beloved Behind the Picture magazine. Look at this, Steven. This is epic. This is the expectation that a photographer has when they go out and make photographs. You're showing me right now that you can shoot a cover. You're showing me that you can shoot a disciplined landscape, and you're showing me that you can make a photograph at the right time of day to add depth, to add interest. Right here, if it's not clear, this is also an incredible, incredible photograph. Great, great, great composition. And guess what? The crowd goes wild. Wow, Steven's coming in hard with his first submission. Let's go, buddy. Coming in hot with his first submission. Guys, keep remember, we're going to limit our submissions to 5 just because there's so many people who want to have their photographs looked at. This is a nice composition, Steven. I want you to watch the ass end of this photo here. The ass end meaning this here. I want you to make sure that that church doesn't get clipped. You could have given yourself a little bit more room there. This steeple also is like offset. I think in this picture, you're trying to get the sun, you're trying to get this, you're trying to get the church in, but because that church is now dropping what I will call almost dead center, that's your gutter. It's going to fall a little bit into the gutter, so I would want that steeple pushed over probably to about here, which means you're going to lose this, which means in order to catch this, you got to move this way, and then you're going to lose the sun. So I see what you're trying to do. This steeple to me just feels a little bit too centered, and this edge is too claustrophobic. If that goes to print, you're going to get cut off. Also, lastly, you are giving me an 8x10, so all of this is moot. 8x10s are only relevant when it's a vertical photo. When it's a horizontal photo, include the whole picture. It's an 8x12 because an 8x12 is 2 4x6s, and 4x6s are exactly 2 pages in a magazine. So you're not cropping when you do horizontal. You crop this picture. I bet you there's more room in this photo if you don't make it an 8x10. I prefer you don't crop your horizontals. Actually, to be honest, I prefer when you don't crop your pictures at all, because I can actually see exactly what you shot. Then I can help you crop it, you know, and as you get more experience, you can start sending me crop photos. Just my 2 cents in a bag of chips. I hope that was helpful. Hope that was helpful, Steven. We got one more from the man. One more. Pretty photo. A little distracting. There's too many elements in this picture. This up here is a huge element, the way that this flower flares up at the top. These things are elements. They're hard to keep in the shot. You're trying to get in really close. This is in focus up here, but this is also in focus here. It's also dead center. And just these lines, just unfortunately, just make this picture just a little bit too distracting for me. When you're looking at photographs, I want you to think about what's the one thing that's gonna pop. When you look at this, there's something that pops. It's the sun, and then the photograph reveals itself around it. Here, there's one thing that pops. This. So just by process of elimination, we're going to take out the first photo. We're going to take out that photo. We're going to take out that photo. We're going to leave that one. We're going to take out this photo. And these pictures now are what I'll call your best from your submissions. And if I had to choose just one, if you're gonna force me to pick just one, Jesus, it has to be this one. I'll call this one your best photo. This one is your best photo. Hope that helps. That is some photography from Stephen C., the guy with the same name as me. Let's go, Stephen. Well done. Well played. Thanks for submitting. That is our first submission of the day from Stephen C. So, my brother Les is a incredible car painter, and they call him the mirror maker because he paints cars with such perfection that the car paint looks like a mirror. Call him the mirror maker. This is a photograph that my brother is taking into car paint. Self-portrait, part of his reflection series. Les, this is dope. I love the offset. I love the fact that the gutter in this photo comes up here. I wish you shot it with your Canon and a 50mm. Please do that next time. I love the leading line here that's bringing you in to this part of the picture. I think the quality and everything would be so much better with your Canon camera, but the composition, bro, is on point. This is an absolute banger. Thank you for submitting. Appreciate that, my guy. It's a photograph from my brother Leslie. Looks just like me. He looks just like me. All right. Andrew Basson is all the way from Cape Town, South Africa. For those who don't know, my ex, the mother of my children, is from Cape Town, South Africa. My children are half South African. Andrew has submitted a crazy photo. He says, and now for something completely different, posing a grain of sand next to a tiny bit of skin. This is crazy. What a shot, Andrew. Look at this photograph. Grain of sand, little bit of skin. Kinda nasty, but also kind of powerful. This is a very strong 8x10. I would love to see the rest of this photo. I'd love to see this, Andrew, as a 9x12, so I can see this just as a little bit more of a cover. We know covers are rarely 8x10 proportion. That's just a little bit too square. So it'd be a very strong cover. I just want to see want to see more of this photo. You know what I'm saying? I want to see more of this photo. It's very technically perfect. The focus is on point. Your eye goes right to where you want it to go, which is right here. It's amazing. Andrew, you should be thrilled. This is epic. You get the smoke, Andrew. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for submitting. By the way, if you want to know how these people are submitting, they're submitting through my Discord. Discord is free. Get a Discord account, join my server, details in the show notes, and how you submit photos, also details in the show notes. Become a member here, join my Discord, add Discord to your YouTube account. Bob's your uncle. You'll see the submission folders. Let's go. Great shot, Andrew. Thanks for submitting. That's great. All right, let's get into another. This is Ilya. Ilya says a few photos from stopping at Watkins Glen on a drive to New York earlier this summer. It's Ilya. Okay. He says, by the way, you mispronounced my name a bit on the last review. It's more like Ilya. Okay. It's more like Ilya. Okay. I got you, Ilya. I apologize for that. Oh my God. But can we talk about the photography? Holy shit. This guy is not messing around. Ilya, let's go, baby. This is fire. Fire. So good. So good. So good. So good. Very happy with the mood here. Very, very happy with the mood here. Ilya. So my number one thing is I want this to be offset just a little bit. Just make our eye travel through the frame to get this. If we put it dead in the center, our eye hits it just too quickly. Just push it just a little bit more over here. I love the wood. I love the wood and the way the wood molds this. I love the leading line and the way that this photograph is so layered. It's very incredible. Very incredible. You should be thrilled. Yeah. I'm thinking just a little bit more offset, but I don't want to crop this. Thinking just a little bit more like that for composition. See what I mean? It's not much, just a little bit offset. Just makes your eye travel. Just make sure I travel through the photograph just a little bit more. Brings your eye like this and up and around and back to this. Brings your eye like this down here. Brings your eye around back here. Pointing to here. These sticks. This layering of the green moss. This is epic. I think that I personally prefer it offset. But again, one more time, that's the entire photo. Well done. There's your drum roll. When you push the wrong button.com. All right, another picture from Ilya. This one we're getting a little bit of noise issue and rainbows. It's really tricky because there's so many different exposures in this photo. The detail that you need to get in here, which is the shadow detail in here where the water is, plus the sun here where it's hitting. This sun is going to be f16. And then over here is going to be f4 or 1.4. You're getting some noise that's happening in here, and that's because of exposure and you trying to recover. The shot, the idea is really great. It's just trying to execute where you're getting mixed light here and here is actually really tricky. I think you did a great job, but the amount of data loss that you're getting through the center of the picture is noticeable, which you can see here. Like that's grain. I wish it wasn't so difficult to mix this kind of hard light and shadow in the same photo. One thing that you could have tried is just crop the photo here and then get another exposure in here and not involve this at all, which would have totally changed the motion of this water. But I think you did a great job. Let's look at another one. First picture still is my winner. Winner, chicken dinner. This is pretty dope, though. Pretty dope. Pretty great from Ilya. This is great. It's just a little bit of the exposure. You're getting just a little bit of noise in here. I know it's tricky. This is a great scene to have this happening in this picture. This is also offset. The center of your photo drops, the center of your photo drops right here. So it's pretty much perfect composition, pretty much perfect. I got nothing but good things to say here. Smoke, beautiful, really great. I love Ilya. There we go. That's better. Ilya. It's gonna take me a minute to get that. But thanks for correcting me. Great shot. Super dope. Super dope. Let's see. From the 3, why you make it so hard? Why you got to go make it so hard? Why do you got to go and make it so hard? Okay, so if I had to pick from the 3, I have to give it to this one because this is the most technically perfect picture that you have. This is the most technically perfect picture. I think that there was some technical issues here with the noise. And although this is a very, very close second, there is some issues with the noise happening on camera right as well as on camera left. I know you shot this a lot before you learned as much as you know right now with your exposure. But again, still incredible job. And this is amazing, an amazing photograph. All right. Can we do an attention reset for you guys? Make sure you're awake. Make sure you're awake. Let's make sure you guys awake. All right. Let's get into another photographer. Another photographer. Wow, I can't even make sense of my buttons because I have so many of them. Like too many buttons. This is what I'm dealing with here. Over 100 buttons to control this stream. Crazy. And I have to just glance at them. I can't be like staring at them and reading them, you know? All right. So Les says, I've been shooting every day. This is my brother again. He says, here's some Canon shots with the 50mm. Les, I mean, you can understand here why I'm saying you need to shoot with this camera. Look at this, my guy. This is amazing. Let's go. Great. Let's look at this as a cover. This is the whole shot uncropped, by the way. Little bit of cannabis. Cannabis is legal in Canada, by the way, federally. You're allowed to grow it. You're allowed to have it. You can fly with it. It's kind of how it is up here. This is a great shot, Les. It's a great shot. I think you could also shoot this a little looser. You could afford to back up a little bit on this picture. I still like it very much. Let's look at another. This is, again, technically so much better than how your phone renders. Oh, Jews, brother, come now. This is amazing. Renders so much better. It's great. Great. Make sure you're super still when you're shooting these frames because when you're close up, the focus is unforgiving. It's a great shot. Great shot. This is it as a cover. It's great. Yeah, you can even, you're giving me the whole frame so I can see this works as an 8x10. It works as a 9x12. This is great. This is great, Les. Thank you. Got a few more for my brother. This is great. A little bit of headroom, a little bit too much headroom on this picture. I think that this could afford to get pushed up. This could kind of go up to about here, I think. That would make me happier. Look at it as a cover. You can see it just feels like there's just a little bit too much room down to here. Although you could crop it. You can crop it like all this off, but even still a little bit too much headroom on this picture. But the image, the focus, everything super strong, really on point. Looks amazing. Looks amazing. All right, let's look at another from the brother. Trying to rhyme here without even trying to rhyme. All right, Les. This is great color and great contrast. Like what you chose to put the green against, the way that really contrasts against the leaves is really great. Really great. I like this a lot. This is another absolute favorite, Les. This is dope. Very dope. Should be thrilled with this one. Should be absolutely thrilled with this one. And Les's last photo. This is direct sun. This is good. This is good. The way that the leaves are clipping off here on camera left is kind of bothering me. Even here, I think you could back up a little bit and just fill the frame a little bit more with this. This color punch back here is interesting. But yeah, I think there's too much of the leaf here that's missing. This white down here is a little distracting. I'd love you to rotate again that way and aim in this way a little bit, just to include more of what's happening on this side of the plant. Yeah, I mean, after you showed me number 5, after you showed me this picture, it's really hard for you to beat it. This one to me is your best photo from this set. All right, my guy. He's got a couple more. Let's see. Ooh, we got a lot of photos here, guys. I'm going to try to fly through these because there's so many. This is great, Les. Really like this picture of the sunflower. You use direct flash, on-camera flash, which actually worked for this. It kind of makes it almost satirical. I like how that's now giving this really a good punch of color, and it's also making your sky blue. So, this is good. This is good. All right. It's a good macro. Little detail underneath a dead sunflower. I wouldn't mind seeing this in black and white, Les. Wouldn't mind seeing that in black and white. Yeah, of the sunflower for me is the winner. This one here from that last set. All right, my guy. Okay, let's get into Alice. Alice says, I ran out super early one day and did some more Atlas and the astronaut portrait. Let's go, Alice. Alice, also known as Vicky, is in the mentorship program, or she's finished my mentorship program. She was with me for a few months. Alice, this is really fantastic. I really love this series. This is Alice from her astronaut series. Really fantastic. I think it's just fantastic. Look at this as a cover. Look at the mood, the mystery, the location that she chose, and just how great this helmet is as creating something that she can use as a self-directed project. It's something that she's been repeating and shoots and adds to this project almost every week. This is really, really, really fantastic. Really fantastic. You should be thrilled with this. Alice's first photo. Let me just close a few from this browser. All right, let's look at another one from Alice. This is cool. Taking the mask off, the helmet off, and doing a little bit of a head throw, giving a little bit of blur. Look at these clouds. Really, really nice. I think it's a little dark. The exposure is just a little dark now that your skin is here. I wouldn't mind seeing this in here maybe like plus a third just to bring a little bit more detail back up without losing the detail that we have up here. This is a great photo, though. You should feel cool. This is dope. You should feel cool. Great shot, Alice. This is really dope. Really dope. By the way, here's another secret. Command VHS. I'll just say that. Command VHS. We'll just say that. Oh, this is great. This is really great. Try capitals, Vicky. It might work with capitals. I'm not sure why a couple of my commands aren't working. Oh, there you go. There you go. It's definitely case sensitive. It's definitely case sensitive. Now we're back in the 80s. All right, Vicky, this is great. The offset is great. I'm so glad that you didn't drop yourself right dead center. It's so much stronger that you offset. This is the gutter. This is just so perfect, Vicky. This is perfect. You get the smoke for this one. This is dope. Dope, 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 dope. Should be thrilled. Thrilled, thrilled, thrilled. This is a banger. And this one, the first one, this, and now this one with the same pose are like my favorite photos. I'm going to hide my face. Just amazing, Vicky. Amazing. Amazing, 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 amazing. You should be so happy. So great. And she's given us a color version. The color is haunting. Haunting. But great discipline with the composition, Vicky. This is great. Really strong. Really strong. Should be thrilled. Should be thrilled. By the way, if you're still watching, I appreciate you. Thanks for staying with us today. These photo reviews, sometimes it takes a bit of time to get through them, but know that it's worth it, you know? And the critiques that I give these viewers who've chosen to submit, maybe it's giving you enough confidence for you to submit your photos, you know? Because we all need critique. Vicky, this is amazing. Vicky, 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 amazing. Amazing. So sick. So sick. Vicky, if I don't say it enough, I'm really proud of you. The effort that you put into your self-directed projects, the effort that you've put into your website through the mentorship program, how hard you worked to get to where you're at right now, and how it's showing with the amount of clients that you're dealing with right now. I'm really proud of you. Shout out to Vicky. She's busting her ass right now, so respect to Vicky. Good shit, girl. I'm proud of you. She deserves it. Vicky works so hard. And Vicky's also dyslexic, so she has an issue with reading. Sometimes she has an issue with certain comprehension when she's reading. So it's like she has to try extra hard to study, to do research, and she has a little ADHD, so it's hard for her to focus. So I gave her some exercises in order for her to focus and really prioritize her photography. Her husband has been incredible in how he helps her, and her husband is like an enabler. Her husband enables her photography and her career, and it's just beautiful. So Vicky, you're doing amazing. Very proud of you. Very proud of you. That's some photography from Vicky Sonic, also known as Alice. All right, Michael Murphy. Holy shit. We got a new viewer. And he is also a new member and a new submitter. His name is Michael. Michael says, hey, everybody, I'm just joined and I'm super excited to share my photography. This guy has something. Michael Murphy. All right, mister. I'm really hoping that you shot this raw. I'm noticing there's just a little bit of, I don't want to call it digitalness, but it might be digitalness. I just want to make sure that you're shooting raw so we're able to bring the most out of our files. As an idea, this is amazing. I think I'm going to start making more content on processing so I can help you guys, first of all, process correctly. Secondly, get the most out of your files. And lastly, if you've ever opened a JPEG and then done anything to it and then saved it again, you're killing your files. And if you've done it again and again and again to the same file, it's called JPEGing a JPEG. So the process goes, you shoot RAW, you process a high res at 300 DPI, a TIFF or a PSD. TIFFs or PSDs are uncompressed. From that TIFF or PSD, whenever you need to make a JPEG or resize something or have a specific size, you go back to that TIFF, open that TIFF, resize it, make a JPEG, and then close it without saving. So you basically have a master TIFF of all your photos. I think that what seems to be happening is many of you are opening your JPEGs, doing something to it, saving it again. Opening a JPEG, doing something to it, saving again. You're killing your files. I see so many files that people are saying, yeah, I shot RAW, but I don't think they're going back to the raw file to make new copies, or I don't think they're going to the master TIFF file to make JPEGs. So many of you are JPEGing the JPEGs. This is what's killing the quality, because when we look at this larger, Michael, I think it could be sharper. I think the detail, I know you're doing a treatment to kind of make it blown out, and I do appreciate that, but I think you're JPEGing a JPEG. I think you're JPEGing a JPEG. All right, let's look. But again, if I didn't say so right off the bat, fantastic photo. Fantastic photo. Fantastic photo. It's a great photo. I just want to help you be the best with your files. So this stuff can go on billboards, so you can sell stock, you know? So you can actually make money from photographs that you've shot already. Let's look at another one from Michael Murphy. It's a beautiful capture, Michael. I like this a lot. This looks like a square. I kind of want to see, it could be an 8x10, but again, I mentioned earlier, horizontal photos is the whole photo. We see the whole photo. So if it's an 8x12, let it be an 8x12, because an 8x12 ends up being a 16x24 or a 20x30 or a 24x36. Horizontal photos are usually uncropped. I would love to see this whole photo. It's an absolute banger. It deserves the smoke. It deserves an 11. It's compositionally sound. It has depth, color, tone, contrast. It has all the things. I just want to see the whole photo. Yeah, I'd love newer submitters. As you're submitting, I want to see uncropped photos, and preferably stuff that you shot recently. The more recently that you share photos, the more I know what your work is like now. I know we all have like emotional attachment to that shot that we think is our absolute best that we shot 12 years ago, but it's 12 years ago. It's shot with a camera that's 3 megapixels. Submit new stuff, shoot new stuff. So I see where you are now. This is a great shot, Michael. I like this a lot, a lot, a lot. I like the treatment. I like the feeling of this. This is, I will say, for sure a cover. This is an absolute banger. You could shoot for surf magazines. This is definitely an 11. I love, love, love this photo. This has all the elements, compositionally sound. This is as perfect a photo as we can get, and I'll call it your first 11. It's amazing. Great job. Great job. Let's look at another one from Michael, yeah? Michael's got 2 more photos for me. This is interesting. It has depth. It has depth. It doesn't have the interest level as some of the earlier captures, but it has an editorial feeling, has a mystery feeling. It does have depth. Is it as kick in the face as this photo? Not as much, but it is strong. It is strong. It's definitely worthy. It's just you created your own bar by showing me this photo. Now you, this is a very good question there, Nick. Give me a second. I'm going to come back to your question in a second. Or you can type Command Q and attach that right to it. This is really strong too. Really strong. Should be thrilled. This is great. This is another absolute banger. Great, like drama. Great photo. I love this. I love this edge of like texture with this soft wispy cloud. Like this soft and wispy versus this hard texture and the blue. These hits of blue. This is epic. Love this a lot. Love it. Should be thrilled with this picture. You get the smoke on this. Let's go. Photographs from our man and a new member and new submitter, Michael Murphy. Let's go, Michael. You should be thrilled. Should be thrilled. Romeo, you have submitted a lot of photos that are too large for me to look at. Not TIFFs. Romeo's new. Romeo, not TIFFs. JPEGs, because I can't be opening 30 megabyte files from everybody who submits photos. JPEG, 100 dpi, 4,000 pixels wide. That is all. Therefore, then I can see the previews. I can't look at all the birthday girl photos, and also no more than 5 photos. 5. I have 7 here. So pick the best 5 that you want reviews on, and please resubmit them. I will look at them next week. All right. Zach says, I'm mostly a landscape, street, and nature photographer. I use Canon FD prime lenses. I would love feedback. This is Nick. I love the vibe here. This is Zach, my bad. Sorry, Zach. I love the vibe here. The position of the sun is cool. There's definitely, it's sharp, high quality lenses. For me, I think it's more about you making sure that the photographs that you're shooting just are like really interesting. Like, I appreciate the path, I appreciate the metaphor, I appreciate the sunset, but we have to like really be looking hard at references when it comes to trying to be professional photographers. If you just look at call it Masterfile. Masterfile is the world's largest stock agency. So you're shooting a photo of like a forest. So what I would do is search sunset forest and see what kind of photography that you get regarding sunset and forests. And is the work that you're making better, stronger, more grabby? Like, that's, for me, that's what I like to do when it comes to the work that I'm shooting or thinking about selling for stock. If you're shooting photographs that are just what I call things or places, they have to be like the absolute perfect time of day, the absolute perfect spot, the absolute perfect path. Once you start getting into creating what I call like stock-ish photography, you'll see like the bar is really high. Looking at this photo, because you're setting up and you're taking enough time to shoot it, I would like just make sure that there's not anything kind of eye distracting on the path that you could clear away. These look like roots. I would say for sure take this away, but that's a root, so you can't really take that away except for in post. I'm not sure if this is like the most beautiful path in the world. That's all. So what I need you to do is be taking your skill set and applying it to like even crazier locations. Like look deeper, look harder, And the time of day that you're shooting that is amazing. Let me look at this second picture from Zach. This is great. It definitely has some dynamic. I think the thing that I said with the first picture, it's the same thing. The majority of this photo is in shade. So a majority here is in shade. Shooting shade is amazing for shooting people. Shooting shade in landscapes, we kind of lose a little bit of the detail, which if this was hit with the right sun at the right angle would be a little bit more effective. The mountainous background and how that range looks versus this tree line is amazing. These birds are amazing, but because the birds are in motion, shooting at a shutter speed that freezes them is also a thing that's hard to do when you're shooting in the shade. And also the main light of this picture over here is where you're getting your perfect exposure, which makes the overall main body of this picture, which is feel dark. I would have shot this maybe 2 hours earlier. 2 hours earlier. Appreciate you, Steven. I would have shot this maybe 2 hours earlier. So this patch of light that's over there would have hit some of this. And then that for me would have made this photograph just kick a little bit more. This lonely car here, I think it would have also been stronger if that car wasn't there at all. That's a super easy thing to take away. Again, shooting landscape photos. I'm not a landscape shooter, but if you watch landscape photographers and the places that they go to take these photos, not only is it just a magical, breathtaking, infinitely beautiful spot, but they're shooting pictures at the exact right time of day, and they're shooting hundreds of them. So that's the thing I think that you should work on, is just where you're going when it comes to shooting these location photos. And the night photography, this is a little bit of it's obviously different. Shooting night photos is another thing that is difficult. I see here the main interest is because you have this pond here. It's giving you these reflective hits from these lights. But unfortunately, other than that certain part, the road is our next most important part, which is giving us some interest. But all of this back here, it's just because it's too far away and the points of light are too small. Most of the time when you shoot at night, the roads are wet. And the reason that the roads are wet, it's because it gives you these reflections. So when you're going out and doing night photography, it's best to go out when it's wet. I'm just going to show you night photography, and just even searching night photography, you'll see that the reflections are what makes night photography work so well. It's the reflections and the multiple points of light. It's the reflections and the multiple points of light. It's starlight trails and multiple points of light. It's a wet ground. With the wet ground reflects every point of light, which is why every time a movie is shot at night, they go outside and wet up the ground using a water truck. When night photography is at its best, there are lots and lots of points of light and lots of points of reflection. So with your photo here, where we have winning points is the main body of the photo, is that reflection, but where we're losing is the grass doesn't give us anything at night. It doesn't even give us color, and these lights over here are too far, and the sky, there's nothing magical or dynamic about the sky at all. So it becomes it just becomes not the right spot for night photography. If you're going to do night photography, you got to go into a city, and you got to shoot when the ground is super, super wet. There's got to be activity. There's got to be stuff happening. It's hard to do night photography in the country with not a lot of activity and stuff happening, and especially when it's not wet. I hope that helps you, Zach. I would say your strongest photo. Oh, there's one more, last one, which again is a very beautiful photograph. It's confusing because I don't know if this is a staged picture, if you put all the elements the way they are here on the table and staged this photo and took it, or this was a place that you went out to eat, or this is a place that you were, and this was the place setting, and this is what you saw and shot. If you're interested in shooting these types of still lifes, again, you have to have all the control. It can't be party snapshot. It's got to be more like, okay, I'm going to get all these elements. I'm going to put this in a perfect environment, whether it's artificial light or natural light, and actually capture a photograph. What you'll see me preaching a lot is making photos rather than taking photos. Everybody takes photos. Everybody with an iPhone takes photos. Photographers make photos, which is idea and then execution. The idea is, where am I shooting this photo? What time of day am I shooting this photo? And what is this photo going to help me do? This photo, a landscape, it's going to help me sell landscapes because it's going to be a print that's going to go on a wall, or it's going to help me contribute to a coffee table book of landscape photos. Like, there has to be a mindset and a methodology as far as why you're making photos. And I say why you're making photos, not why you're taking photos, because everybody takes photos. Everybody takes photos. People with iPhones take photos. What separates us, the photographers, is making photos, which is being able to be creative on demand. Someone says an idea, and you can take that idea and turn that idea into a photograph that they can use to sell a product. That's worth money. That's how I eat, is turning ideas into actionable, tangible photographs and videos. So when it comes to shooting still life or landscape or portraits or whatever it is that we're shooting, it can't just be willy-nilly. It's why I make so much content on specializing. It's the fastest way to get better is to get good at shooting one thing. Now, if you want to make money at photography, shooting people have money and people need photographs of themselves. So that's a very viable business model. This person has a business. They need a website. I make photos of that person. That picture goes on that website. I get paid there. That work makes them money. It's a whole system. When you're shooting landscapes, when you're shooting nature, there is no person to buy the photo. There is nobody hiring you to take the photo. So then it becomes, you're just making photos. You're just taking photos, and they're just going in hard drives with no reason or rhyme or concept or idea. You're just seeing compositions and shooting, which is how everybody starts. Let's go, Deshaun, which is how everybody starts.
New member.
Everybody starts with pointing their cameras at things and taking photos. Welcome, Deshaun. Thanks for hanging out with us. I appreciate you. So how you get to the next level is deciding, what kind of a photographer do I want to be? And then finding other photographers who are doing that successfully and modeling yourself after that. Let's find the most successful landscape photographer. What does their work look like? What do they shoot? How are they making their money? How can I model my photography after what they're doing? Because pointing at stuff that you see and taking photos, pretty sunset, pretty this, it's like cool, but it's not selling, and it doesn't sell you, and it doesn't sell you to people who might need your photography. Generalists rarely work unless they're doing general photography in a smaller market at the highest level. So these photo reviews are, yes, to help you become a better photographer, but a better photographer will happen when you actually have a plan. I want to shoot fashion. That was my plan. I saw Vogue. I said, I want to shoot fashion. How did I activate that plan? Went to a modeling agency, started shooting models, used those to practice and to learn how to shoot, then went to magazines, started getting hired by magazines to shoot fashion, got a studio, started shooting models, moved to Miami, continued to shoot models, started like, that's kind of like the plan was, I wanted to be a fashion photographer. What I had to do was create fashion images at the level that is industry standard. So taking pictures without a vision means you have lots of photos, but no one cares and no one's hiring you to make them. So I try to have like a more focused approach to teaching photography. It makes you learn faster. If you shoot one thing, you're going to learn faster than if you try to learn how to get good at shooting everything. And what that ends up meaning is you're actually good at shooting nothing because you don't spend enough time shooting one thing to get good at it. I hope that helps, Zach. All right, let's get into Warrior Moot. And our last person that we are looking at is Warrior Moot, because Scott, you got in after the wire. If the episode has started and you're trying to submit photos, it's too late. It's too late. It's for next week. You got to have your photos in by 6. It's like too many people. Once they see me reviewing, they start submitting photos, and then it means that the episode never ends. I have to put a cap on it. I've already been going for almost 90 minutes. All right. Warrior Moot. Let's look at what you got. All right. Warrior Moot with some street photography. First picture from Warrior. Definitely good. Good composition. Like really strong composition. I want you to be concentrating on the fact that when this goes to 8x10 or when this goes to a 4x5 proportion, our cameras shoot 2x3. Excuse me. Our cameras shoot 2x3, which is 4x6, which is 8x12. That is the proportion that our cameras shoot. 8x12. So that 2x3 proportion is 8 inches across here and 12 inches down. Oops, 12 inches. When we crop, like we have to go to Instagram, we lose a little on the top and a little on the bottom. This is right at the limit. I think that you'll find when you put this to Instagram, you're going to lose a little bit there. Be conscious of that. I know you shot this for a cover. A cover, it is perfect. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 as a cover. My issue, it's tricky, but it all exists with what's behind her. That is distracting. These are this facial thing. This is distracting. This color behind her is distracting. That's distracting. So it's about trying to photograph her in such a way. Perhaps you go this way so you can aim at her this way and aim down the street and maybe use this path as a point that's more interesting. So this tree isn't actually growing directly out of her head. Stuff to watch, because I see lots of places where you could have put her head that doesn't have anything behind her that's interfering. When we're shooting, we have to scan the background. It's so important to scan the background. What's happening back here? And when you're just taking pictures of things that happen or are happening in the world, we have no ability to like move people. So it's up to us to say too distracting and go on to the next photo. So make sure you're scanning your backgrounds. Warrior Moot's first photo. This laptop is dead. All right, on to another one from Warrior. And by the way, 5 photos only. Warrior, you're 7 photos here. You're killing me. 5 photos. There's so many people who want photo reviews. 5. Let's limit it to 5. I know you had more. Choose 5 and send me, because it's really hard to get through here. All right. Sorry, guys. Understand that, like, it gets really hard when I have specific rules so I can actually look at more people's photos. That is why I say submit 5 photos. Romeo, the submission of the TIFFs just threw the whole party. I also see RAF, Ricky De Silva. I don't know what you're doing, Ricky. You're definitely posting non-JPEGs. So, okay, so Warrior, I'm going to choose 5 of these photos to look at because I'm getting sleepy. I'm getting tired and overwhelmed, and I need to eat. This is dope. It's a curious, very clever perspective to shoot these rattles on this ankle. Definitely a clever photo. Definitely clever. It's a little bit too much head space here, although I love it as a portrait. The light that's on him is great. The shade that's on him is great. This growing out of his head is something that I think that you could either retouch out or just take one step that way or one step that way and make sure that you're scanning what's behind people, because this is, again, something that I think that Matthew, what I'm trying to do, it's very difficult. I'm trying to read the chat, but I'm also trying to do photo reviews. So it's like one or the other. Either we hang out and I read chat and I don't look at photos, or I look at photos and I don't read chat. It's really difficult with all the things that I got going on right now, doing both. So what do you need? Are you asking me something? What are you asking me? What are you asking me? I see people who are trying to, and by the way, type question like this, command question. If you want to stop me, it stops me dead in my tracks because it makes this sound right here.
Question?
Stops me. Command Q if you have to ask me something. So what is it that you're trying to ask me? Please get to it. I'm losing my time. I'm losing my time. I'm losing my time. Question. Who has a question? Okay. So going back to this. I think that there is, just scan the head, just scan the frames, scan this to make sure that that's not growing out of the head. Let's look at another photo here from, okay, so, Matthew asked me, Carty, do you, oh, so someone else's, okay, so here's another thing. If your name is something that is different here than in Discord, and I'm confused as to like who, make your name in Discord the same as it is here. It makes it super, super easy. What's your question, Matthew? You have all my attention. We're stopping the whole stream here to figure out what it is that you're asking me. Those are Romeo's images. So you made his images in JPEG and then you posted them? Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. That, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Romeo, don't do that. Romeo, just, he's a grown man. I'm sure he can figure out how to process his own pictures. Give him the instructions, let him post them. When they come from you, I'm not thinking about that, I just see warrior mood. I'm reading like, hey, like, just, bro, you're killing me. Actually killing me right now. I know you're trying to help, but it just like, it's not fluid. Just send a DM, give exact instructions so Romeo knows how to submit, how to make a JPEG. I'm sure he can figure out how to make a JPEG. You know what I mean? I'm hoping, Romeo, wherever you are, I hope you can figure out how to make a JPEG. Hope you can watch a video on how to make a JPEG from your raw files. Um, Warrior, when you submit, also please make Warrior Moot Matthew Sargent in Discord, because it's really hard to keep track of how many people are in my Discord, how many people are watching live. And when your name in my Discord doesn't match your name in chat, I don't often make the bridge. Make it super easy for me. Could you please do that? Make it easy. I see Matthew here. I see Matthew Sargent right here with photos. Yeah. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna have to wrap up. It's 7:30. I've been going for 90 minutes. Because Matthew, you submitted his photos, I can't look at your photos. I'm too tired now. You know, it's just we're trying to keep this super simple. Here's the instructions: submit JPEGs, JPEGs to the submission folder. There's a raw submission folder only if you have trouble with processing. You really need my help processing your photos, or help from another member that is super versed in processing, like Julie, like Ray, like Warbucks, someone who could help you with your processing. You put your raw files there, and usually with Google Drive, not directly in there, like make a link, because it just keeps the server clean. I'd rather see a link than 4 photos that we can't see a preview of. So raw files only if you want me to process them during a special episode that I do when there's enough raw files to process. JPEGs, 4,000 DPI, 4,000 pixels wide, 100 DPI. That will make them less than 8 megabytes, and you will be able to submit them here in the Discord. Submissions are members only, because there's too many submissions and it makes it really difficult. The whole idea, I give extensive feedback on the photos that are submitted, but submit 5. When you submit more, what you're doing is you're taking the time away that I could be helping someone else, which isn't fair. So when I say submit 5, submit 5. Don't submit 7, don't submit 8, don't submit 10, and don't multiple submit a couple of different times, 5 photos, and then a day later you put 5 more photos, and then a day later 5 more photos, because by the time it comes where I do my episode again, I'm reviewing you, and then you, and then you, and then you 5 different times, which again takes review time away from other people. And it's not fair for someone to be watching an episode and me reviewing one person's photos for the whole episode. It's not fair. I'm trying to make this the most beneficial for everybody. So I hope that helps. Nia, Warrior, Ricky, your photo's amazing, by the way. It's just, you have to understand that also, this takes a lot out of me. It takes a lot out of me to go photo by photo and give my, I'm not just mailing it in. I'm giving you true opinions on every single photo. It takes a lot out of me. And I have like about a 90 minute dipstick. Like that's about how long I can do photo reviews. Once it gets past 90 minutes, I start to get short. I start to get frustrated, start to get hungry, and I want it to be over. So that's why you can't submit after 6, because when I'm getting to your photo, I'm pissed off at you because you're not listening. You're submitting after the show started, which after the show starts means I look at your photos next week. Okay? I hope that helps you. And yes, hangry happens when Hangry happens when people don't follow instructions, when they submit multiple times over multiple days, and then I just see next person is someone who I just reviewed. Pick your best 5 photos, submit them once. I will get to them. I promise. I hope you guys found this helpful. I'm going to go eat. Make sure you watch my latest video. If you're a member, it's up now. You can watch a commercial-free members-only version of my latest video, which is a natural light masterclass. And of course, Friday at 2 p.m., tomorrow at 2 p.m., this video debuts. Please watch it. Please comment. And if it helped you, please share it with your network. You sharing my work, my videos with your network helps me more than you could possibly know. The photo reviews, if they keep getting like this, the limit is going to be 3 photos. We might be getting close to the limit of 3 photos. If I can't get through in an hour how many photo reviews I have to do, the limit might be 3. So I'll be back in the Discord tonight. We can talk about it. Thank you guys so very much for watching. We'll see you soon.